Believe we are live. Yes, we are. I think I'm going to go like we're live. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of my show. Lots to talk about today. There's been a lot of stuff online that I have a lot of thoughts on. I think we'll talk about the Texas State move to the Pac-12 and what that means for UTSA. And why people are bitter on Twitter about it. It blows my mind that people are bitter about it. So I want to talk about that. I would love to get you guys' thoughts on that as soon as you have them on the move and like why the reaction is the way it was for UTSA. We'll talk also about where, you know, the question that I got a few times over the course of this week in regards to like this whole move with the Texas State going to the Pac-12 and like the discourse between UTSA and Texas State fans this week was mostly centered around, what can where will UTSA be in a few years, right? And I think I have some thoughts on that. But one of the things that I've talked to a lot of Oregon State people, surprisingly, and Washington State people who are already in the Pac-12 over the last week or so, and I don't think they know too much about us, and they were very vocal over the course of this last week or so with all the talk that's been going on. I'll get onto some of that, and then obviously I will get to some of your questions, and then we'll go from there. So I'll start out with some of the topics I want to talk about in general. I'll give you guys some time to put some comments in. I see we have a few from It's Rab that I cannot wait to get to because they are already interesting to me. I'm looking at some of his comments. But yeah, so the first thing I want to talk about is I want to just kind of set the stage of the entire discussion between UTSA and like this Pac-12 move with Texas State and things like that. Look, like here's the thing, and I put this out in my article, but like I'm still getting mentioned from Texas State people almost every single day at this point, and just people from the Pac-12 almost every single day. The tweets, the DMs, they're all cool. But it seems to be getting a lot more traction than I expected. So I want to like sort of put my thoughts out there and see what you guys think. So I think the Texas State move, I want to be very clear. I think the Texas State move into the Pac-12 is good for their program. Like, great. I mean, I think that's a step up from the Sun Belt. It's not the step up that I think they're embellishing it a bit. And if I was that school, I would probably embellish it too. But I think everybody in the Pac-12 in general, even the Oregon State folks, even some of the folks that are already there, are sort of embellishing like the Pac-12 in general because it's lost a huge part of its relevance and it's lost its credibility based on the teams that used to be there, right? Like, I mean, the Pac-12 was filled with your USCs, UCLAs, and things like that. Those teams are no longer there. So now you have this brand that was once super big, huge, that warranted all this respect, was undoubtedly a power conference. And now they have sort of been dysfunctional, trying to find a clear sense of direction, and they're starting to land in places. And the reality of what the Pac-12 is, it is something very far from what they used to be. I don't want to like diminish it too much, but it is nowhere near the what it used to be. To me, it is it's on par with a group of five conference, in my opinion. I don't look at that and think like, oh, it's this big power move. Now, what I will say is it is a move. They have more of a conference. They're going to get more money and things like that than what the Sun Belt was offering. So from that itself, I think Texas State made a good move, in my opinion. But that's really it, though. Like, whenever, like, to me, my overall take on it is that, like, I actually think them, even if like the Pac-12 really ain't like all that in the bag of chips, the reputation, the name, what it means, like what people think it means, at least people in that region, what they think it means, it does boast gives Texas State a bit of a boost, which to me it's by default it's going to give UTSA a little bit of a boost because we're going to beat that team in come our home opener this year. And I don't think people understand my sort of angle there. It's like, there was people like frustrated with my article saying like, hey, like you gotta like this whose side I would love to talk to the sidelines. As who are the sidelines guy? I would like who I don't know who that person is. But sidelines UTSA. I would love to have him on the show, not in any like malicious or like wanting to fight and argue with him, but I would love to have a discussion because he mentioned me over the weekend and he was like saying that my take overall is like in some way bolstering or is it at service to Texas State. That's not the case. The reality is hey, this is a bit of a boost for them, right? Regardless of if we like it or not, it's a bit of a boost for them. Cool. To me, whatever eyes we have on from the rivalry that we have with them having a bit more notoriety as a school, I think only helps things. Because, for example, like would the Texas State rivalry be like mean as much if they were still in the FCS and we were an FBS team? No, it wouldn't. Because guess what? It's an FCS team. People are not going to care as much. But you make them Division One, and they're in a conference too, and they're doing all this type of thing. Then it starts to mean a little bit more, and that's sort of my point. And to me, like, does this dramatically, like, in my opinion, yes, Texas State have done, some good things over the last couple of years, right? But it's still Texas State. Like they haven't reset who they actually are. They haven't reset the terms of how both schools are operating in the trajectory of both schools. They haven't really reset the terms there. UTSA is still UTSA. UTSA still has Coach Traylor. UTSA still has a momentous type of aura about them that's going to continue to push them forward. So I like, just because they've had a little bit of success and they're actually punching back because we've been bullying them from a football standpoint since our inception, like number one, you can acknowledge that, okay, that's okay. You guys are trying to like do your thing, no problem. But don't take away from, in my opinion, don't take away from what UTSA can gain in all of this, because I mean, a lot of folks are really up in arms about this A&M game. Cool, right? Let's say we do go in and beat an A&M or something like that. Then that's an SEC school, and then we backdoor and beat a Pac-12 school right after that. I like the sound of it. I'm sorry, I do. I like the sound of it. Even if we don't win against A&M and then we go and beat Texas State game too, same thing. It's still a little bit more beating a Sun Belt team than a Pac-12 team, even if the Pac-12 is diminished from what it used to be. Like I think we got to be like just because we're not like Texas State fans and we're arch rivals against them, don't mean we have to turn a blind eye to something that is probably a boost for that program. That's that's sort of my thing. I can care less about what they do. I think we're like, here's my thought on like the Twitter chaos that was going on between folks whenever the move was announced. Like, don't let them see you sweat. Why are we so worried about like what they got going on over there? You know what I'm saying? There's no like all we gotta do is take care of business and we're good. If they want to be happy about this move to a conference that is not what it used to be, let them be happy. Let them do their thing. I'm more so focused on like, hey, we won 7 games last year, which is in what you can kind of call a rebuild year, because we had to usher in a new quarterback. We lost a lot of our leaders, so forth and so on. The way I look at this season is, hey, this is an opportunity with Owen McCown coming in with a lot more experience coming into this season. I think UTSA is poised or in a position to do some serious damage this year in terms of competing for an AAC title and making some real noise and taking another step forward, right? So like if we won 7 games with the state of the team last year, I expect an improvement with guys with a little bit more experience. A quarterback that's going to come in that's going to be in more command of the offense. He's not going to start off in a position battle where we're seeing Eddie Lee Marburger come on. He's going to be the guy. He ended the season very well. I think UTSA has an opportunity to do some really big things this year. Why are we worried about Texas State? And the reason and listen, it is what it is. I do these shows whenever there's topics and things to talk about. This whole Texas State thing is a big deal, and I wanted to definitely do a show to weigh in on it, so I can actually talk to people instead of like having to type out my thoughts, because some people take things the wrong way, misread, or whatever the case may be. But yeah, I just think that like the bitterness behind the bitterness from the stuff I've seen from our fan base, UTSA's fan base, I'm just like, relax, bro. Relax. Let them have their fun in the sun. It's okay. It's okay. Like, we reset all of that come our home opener. Let me get that exact date so I can stop saying home. Yeah, what date is this? September 6th. September 6th, we'll see about all of that, right? So like, to me, like, it's cool that they did something. It's okay for us to acknowledge it, but like, we don't have to start living in the world of these false narratives, in my opinion. And kind of take over the whole Twitter. Like, my mentions are like, take a look. I don't know if you can go look at somebody's mentions, or go look at my mentions from some of this other stuff. It's just fights. I think there was one today. I think I may have posted something today, and like, I see, Texas State folks reply under, or somebody from one of the other conferences. It's a little crazy. It's a little crazy, but I'll get into some of the comments we got now. It's Rap says, "Come on, man. I know these clicks help get you that athlon. Congrats, but you can stop the Texas State propaganda. Start pushing the Army versus UTSA rivalry. Bigger reach audience, fits current era CFB." Yeah, the clicks certainly didn't help me get athlon. I don't get enough clicks, if I'm just being completely honest. So yeah, the clicks on I am still building up my channel. My channel for my UTSA content is for UTSA people. I don't do this to get a huge big audience. I would like to have a huge big audience, but yeah, that's this part definitely did not give me anything with athlon. Anyway, the UTSA Army rivalry, yeah, that's much of nothing to me right now, if I'm being honest. I would like it to be. I would like it to be a rivalry. I don't get rivalry feels. Y'all let me know in the comments if y'all do. I don't necessarily get rivalry feels. It'd be great if it's a rivalry, but them and Navy are always a huge deal. And I don't know if I get why you'd prefer that rival for us to be rivals with them, but like, I don't know. I think, it is what it is. You can't sort of choose your enemies like all the time. Sometimes they just find you and they're just there. And I actually think, yeah. What propaganda though? I don't understand the propaganda. Yeah, what propaganda am I pushing with for Texas State? Yeah, I'm going to talk about the subjects that are relevant. I think that's part of what I am here for, to talk about the subjects that are relevant to the fan base. But I'd be curious to understand the propaganda piece of this. Otherwise, 2-1-0 will continue to not back a program who is proud to have a rivalry with the school like Texas State. They're not even R1. Army can bring the big companies in and say. So here's the thing. Okay, I'm glad you brought this up right here, because I want to talk about this specifically. So you talk about like nobody, like everybody keeps saying like, hey, we can't. I got tagged in something by someone. They were saying like, hey, we're being mentioned with schools like Texas State, North Texas, Rice, and this is the reason why San Antonio can't get behind us. Blah 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 blah. Listen. So what's the alternative? Like, who's the appropriate, like, so Army's the appropriate team? Okay, cool. But like, I feel like these types of rivalries, big school or smaller school, dude, they actually create like engagement, viewership, and they get people around it who are not even a part of it excited. How many? I mean, go you. I mean, I seen this in my mentions 1000%. People saying, "Hey, I didn't even know Texas State and UTSA are rivals." They got a hold of UTSA and Texas State Twitter and some of the Twitter wars that were going on, and they were like, "You know what? This is entertaining." And that type of thing right there happens a lot more than you think. So like these things that like we are who we are. Like I get the whole idea of like, yes, UTSA needs to like look upward and look forward. Yes, absolutely, I agree with that, right? But like we can't start turning up our nose at things when we aren't at the level of some of the people that we're trying to reach up and look at. Or like, we have to get there first, folks. We have to actually get there. People like say like, oh, like UTSA's or San Antonio's not going to get behind a team that is not like automatically one of these big teams. Yeah, that's the problem. That's the problem right there. How is UTSA going to grow if they can't get San Antonio to back them at this level? How? If they can't get San Antonio to back them at this level, how's more money going to come in? How are you going to attract the bigger companies? You have to do it at this level. You have to do it at this level. You have to figure it out at this level so you can up level, right? It's part of their jobs is to get people more bought in and to gradually take steps forward. That's what they're supposed. That's what they are tasked with. It's a tough challenge. Yeah, it's tough. But like UTSA is not going to just go to bed and wake up tomorrow and be on the same level as a UT or A&M in Texas. It does not work that way. You got to start somewhere. You have to start somewhere. You have to elicit emotion out of viewers, out of the audience, out of the fan base. And guess what elicits emotion? Because we see it every day on freaking Twitter. Our rival against Texas State right now. So until I start seeing a whole bunch of armies and all of this stuff, you take what you can get. We got to build some of this stuff. It just doesn't. You can't snap a finger and boom, you're now Texas, and now everybody wants to work with you, and now everybody wants to give you money. Yeah, it doesn't work that way. Gradual progression. It's Rab. It's a military city after all. I mean, listen, I like the whole idea. I like it with Army, but like we need something to latch on to for it to become a rivalry. We can't just look at a team and say like, hey, this is a good team we should be rivals with. Like what makes us a rival? Just because we're a military city and that's Army? Like that in itself doesn't necessarily make it a rival. I would like it to be. I get where you're coming from, but like I don't know how you just manifest that out of thin air. That's sort of where I'm hung up on right now. That it says UTSA and Army will never be a rivalry. Okay. It already is, my guy. He says you got it. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I don't know about that. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. But to me, it's not. At least not yet. It's Rap says the Pac-12 have been trashing UTSA all year since we said no to them. They have a nasty culture. I mean, yeah. I mean, look. I mean, it just didn't make sense, and I don't think that project is the best project in the world. It's one of the reasons why I'm like confused at why there's so much bitterness for UTSA from UTSA fans on Twitter about the move. Let them have it. Let them be happy about it. Like it's not like I said, it's not what it was. I mean, it's an all right move. It's good for them for sure. Absolutely. It's not like we're worried. Like I'm not like here's the thing. Unless people in the fan base feel like this, let me know if y'all do. I don't. I am not sitting here envious of Texas State moving to the Pac-12. Like I don't envy that one bit. Like I'm not saying in my head, dang, I wish UTSA was in the Pac-12. No. And I don't think most of the fan base feels that way, but it's because like Texas State's making noise where they're bringing us down to their level and we're showing bitterness and insecurity and things like that. We just got to take care of business. That's where we should be, in my opinion. We just have to take care of business. Let's go, Thaddeus. Be all you can be without UTSA. You guys are going at it. Come join the pack. Shout out to the San Diego State folks here. Shout out to you, man. Appreciate you for being here. If you like and subscribe. Everybody, by the way. Carol says, I don't care about Texas State. I didn't make a single, and good for you, Carol. Miss Carol, good for you. I mean, like, there's so much of it online. I'm glad you stayed out of it. But yeah, it was so much of it online. And yeah, it's crazy. Anthony says, also the home game promotions came out today. The first home game will be officially the orange out game. Let's show up wearing orange. Yeah, I mean, I think that stuff is all good. Obviously, all of that is positive. I mean, it's that time of the year, it's July. August is right around the corner. A lot more football content is finna start coming out, and then just a lot more. We're close, folks. We're not that far away. We're not that far away. So we're just we're 2 months out. 2 months out from go time. You know, a little over, yeah. So like, or almost 2 months out. Yeah, like it's almost here. It's almost here. Let's see. I-35 rivalry needs to come to the PAC. No, I think we'll pass on the PAC. Appreciate the invite though. It's referenced. I've seen no bitterness on our side. It's the Pac-12 pushing false narratives, which makes UTSA brand look less than it is. It's crazy how bad UTSA looks, and we have done nothing to deserve that hate. Yeah, I disagree. I've seen a lot of bitterness on our side, if I'm being honest. Unless we have to. I mean, here's the thing. It's like us, like, yeah, I've seen a lot of bitterness. I don't want to go into like and call specific tweets out to folks, but yeah, just go check my mentions or some of the things I've been tagged in over the last couple of weeks. There's a lot of people, what I like to call bitterness. Like I said, like all the argument back and forth with Texas State folks about like what their status is, and then we're saying, oh, you didn't, this ain't nothing, this move ain't this move ain't that. Like that's all bitterness. Like it just is. I don't know what else. What other adjective to use for that. It's interesting. What you mean? Their coach pushed that player's head in the turf, and that Texas State was chosen for UTSA. Let's see. Let me filter through some of these. This San Diego State fan says UTSA and Texas State is great TV. Trap. I think you said that no one cares about those G5 schools. UTSA needs to bring P4 schools to the Dome. That's how you get to that next level. I agree with that. We don't do that anymore. Why not? I wonder. Why not? Yeah, we're not bringing folks to the. We're not able to get folks to the Dome the way we did in the very beginning. I remember OK State at the Dome. Like the Dome was packed for OK State way back in the day, right? Yeah, I think this. I definitely think that's something we need to do though. The G5 schools, listen, and I'll give you a little bit of like I think one of the things already since I've been like sort of, and I've only been like doing this or working with Athlon or even trying to. It's funny. I wasn't even, the Athlon thing happened very quick. I was actually talking to another sort of company to contribute for, which I still might, but it has forced me to give a more of a look of the landscape of college football, and like it's forced me to dive a little bit deeper into Power Four storylines and just Power Four stuff in general. And yeah, like you are right when like on a broad level, people care about the G5 as a collective, but individual G5 schools, yeah, the notoriety is lacking to say the least. So you're correct that we definitely need to bring some P4 schools to the Dome. And yeah, I do think that'll help us level up for sure. Let's win the conference first. I mean, yeah, I mean to me that's that's in my opinion a really big like step in the landmark in my opinion on what UTSA needs to do. And it's one of the things that I want to talk about today as well. Like whenever I sit back and think about like UTSA in 2030, right? I can care. I mean, respect to the Pac-12, but I can care less about the Pac-12. I don't. That's not attractive to me. Like the reason I don't want UTSA to go to the Pac-12 is because that's not significant enough of a move, in my opinion. Number one, I just don't think from a resource standpoint, we should go anywhere, right? I think we need to be in a position where we start to compete at the top of the conference in football. And last year, I can't necessarily. I mean, we did that in the first year. We didn't. We came up short in terms of conference championship. Last year, we took a step back, but we were it's sort of a rebuild year from a nucleus standpoint for UTSA. But I think about this year, and I'm like, you know what? I think we have a real shot because of all the quarterback turnover that some of the more prominent teams, and y'all have heard me say this all summer, some of the more prominent teams are having to usher in new quarterbacks. We are one of the prominent teams coming into this season with a quarterback that we had from last year who's going to be looking to build on the momentum that he created in the second half of the season. So I definitely think that a conference championship and a conference run for UTSA football next year is in the cards. I think that's what we need to start doing from a football standpoint. Let's get a conference champion, a couple conference titles under our belt. Hopefully, and I would imagine that this would elicit a little bit more attention from the greater San Antonio. It will make companies a little bit more a little bit more eager to work with us and those sorts of things. And it brings more notoriety whenever you're a champion. Whenever you're hoisting that trophy, you're always going to have more eyes on you, right? Those championship games are super important to a program's prestige. And I think that's something that's important. That's something that's important anyway. So that's what I like to see. I like to see us get some conference titles, start to build up that resource pool. I'm sure they have these types of things already set up too, and then start looking at Big 12 type, a Big 12 type of move. I think that's huge. But we have to crawl before we walk. And what does that mean? That means dominating your conference. That also means dominating some of these regional battles, even if it's not the bigger teams like your Texas States, like your North Texases and things like that. We need to dominate those. We're not dominating them right now. We want to, like, it's one of those things. If we were dominating year in, year out, no matter what, then I could understand, like, hey, you know what, let's fiddle these guys, not even think or look or worry about any of this stuff. Let's just focus on taking that next leap. We have to get to a point to where we're on the precipice of that in the first place. And we're just not there yet. We're getting there, and we've put together great success and great years in Traylor's tenure as the coach at UTSA. But there's still more and more steps that we have to do as a program to start to knock off some of those bigger goals. And I think winning the AAC is a great start. It's right. The Pac-12 needs to get that H-Town Showdown rivalry. It's been a thing for 100 years. H-Town Showdown rivalry. Which one? H-Town Showdown rivalry. I'll come back to that one. What makes Texas State a rival? Because they closed? Because they're close, I'm assuming. I mean, probably. Yeah, like they're close. I mean, yeah. I mean, I'm not gonna sit here and litigate if Texas State and UTSA are rivals. They're clearly rivals. Carol says, I don't care what Texas State does, but I agree with you. The rivalry puts butts in seats. Exactly. We need that. Great point, Carol. So here's what I'll say. There's a reason next year or this upcoming season, UTSA is pushing and campaigning and trying to break the record, the attendance record, and thinking that we can potentially eclipse 57,000. You know why that's possible? Let me tell you why that's possible. I'm not saying we needed this, but a lot of us are upset at how Texas State did us last year. That's just a fact. I am. That left a sour taste in my mouth how they did us last year, considering that we've been the bully for, every previous meeting up before that, right? The reason them coming to the Dome this year and why it's a thing this year that we're going to try to break the record is, okay, they actually showed themselves to be a formidable team last year. They actually beat us and they embarrassed us at their home. Now there's going to be a lot more eyes at that game. You think a lot of those folks aren't going to want to travel down to the Alamo Dome to watch that? Do you not think everybody? I mean, it's our home opener, number one. You think that People are not going to people are not going to be talking about that. A lot of folks in the same region all work together, at work together, talking about, hey, my alma mater is going to beat your alma mater. That type of thing puts butts in seats. Period. It just does. Guess what also that does? That also, in whatever way that UTSA is going to generate money from the attendance and all of that type of stuff, it is going like the fact that we have something on our schedule that's going to eclipse probably, go 50 plus thousand is because of that rivalry. It's important to have that, whether it's a huge school or not. It's important to have that. Let's see. Anthony says Cincinnati just displayed some of their new jerseys for the upcoming season. When do you think we will get a glimpse of the new Nike jerseys for the fall? That's a great question. I'm gonna put out some. I'm gonna text a couple people and see if I can get y'all. They're not gonna tell me when exactly it's gonna come, but I'm gonna text a few people and see if I can get a ballpark at when we should expect something. I mean, I would expect something. I would expect something probably before spring. I don't think they would I doubt they would hold it all the way up into the first game, but I said spring. I'm sorry, the fall. The fall. I would expect something like right before, like they suit up for like practice and stuff. Thaddeus says the 10-year contract for football should help him make it a rivalry. Not playing every year since the 2012 season was a mistake, but I get why. Let's see. We have Bob Enriquez, Big 12, SEC or Big 10. Yeah, SEC, I doubt it. Big 10, probably not. But Big 12, I like the Big 12. I want us to end up in the Big 12 somewhere, if I'm being honest. Howdy, y'all. Great article on NIL, Darren, and congratulations on your new position. Yeah, man. It's I appreciate you reading it and checking it out. I posted the article this morning on my Twitter at about 8 something this morning, or maybe 9 something this morning. I think it's doing all right. I'll see what the editor's doing. I mean, listen, it's not a full-time position or anything like that. Like, I don't do any of this stuff full-time, but like, yeah, I enjoy the writing aspect of some of this stuff. And it's good to kind of get back into sort of a more national coverage type of thing. So we'll see how it goes. I think the NIL side of things obviously interests me a lot. I talk about it on this stuff a lot because it's a huge part of college football now. And yeah, sometimes you do this stuff and people, it is nice for people to notice and to show interest in your work. And yeah, they notice you guys as well. Trust me on that. And you guys and how you guys engage and interact with me on Twitter is a very key part to that. So yeah, I appreciate you guys for interacting and giving me feedback on the content I produce. Let's see. It's Rab says, close. Let's not even bring them up. It's embarrassing feeling proud to have a rivalry with 5-1 record. I don't know what you're talking about. People being bitter, I'm assuming. I only see the same 3 guys punch back. Okay. I mean, yeah, okay. I mean, that's fair. That's fair. What's up to you, Carter? What's going on, brother? Playing Texas State with a 10-year contract was a mistake. Bummer. U of H ended our contract with them. That's when we were building up. Now we're back to sliding, and people are excited. Sliding in Texas State, people are excited for that. It sucks for UTSA. I have not seen any Nike unis. I've seen some people like draw up samples, but they're not real. So, no, I haven't. Bring in P4 teams and you bet butts in the dome. I mean, yeah, the right P4 teams, yes. Shout out to Angela. She says, where can we find your articles, Go Runners? Yes, on my Twitter, you can find the articles. So I basically have a Monday newsletter, a Monday article that I write every day that's dedicated to UTSA and UTSA only. Those are on the Twitter. They're on my Twitter. And my Twitter is at Darian_UTSA. So those come out every Monday, and then periodically you'll see me begin to post my Athlon articles, which I'll try to keep those like my very early morning posts. I posted this one around 8:30. I'll save those posts specifically in the morning for those. But yeah, on my Twitter, you can find all of those. It's Rap says San Antonio is a big WWE town, which they are associated with the Big 12. So that would be great. Yeah, I mean, listen, if we're talking about like, if we're talking about where like from a conference standpoint, I see like I bet UTSA folks in the rooms have circled if there was an ideal world for them. Yeah, Big 12. Big 12. I mean, Big 12, I think would be amazing. Because I mean, just look at the teams, right? Like it's regional, you got a lot of really like I think that's a realistic next step for UTSA. That's a big step. Don't get it twisted. Like, you know, yeah, that's I certainly recognize that. But if UTSA can find its way into the Big 12 in some way, shape, or form, like if we are able to take a step forward, like that's a move that I'd be attracted to. Pac-12, not so much. Big 12 would be great because I mean people will travel to those games. I mean, there's Texas Tech, TCU, Oklahoma State's, your U of H's of the world, which you know, U of H is the model that I would love for us to follow. If I'm being completely honest, you think about like UTSA or U of H's rise into like a Big 12 and what they've done with their program. I like I have some conversations with people about it, and I'm like, I think we should follow their path, their track. Now they have more people, they have more money, they have, they've been a lot more established on some things, but and they're really good. And like, I mean, their basketball team is a big deal and things like that. But I think like that's the closest comparison to where I'm like, you know what? If UTSA is going to make a leap into a power conference, they'll do it the way U of H did it. And yeah, I think there's opportunities, man. Like you never know what happens with the conference a lot. I mean, listen, you never know what's going to happen with some of these teams. We're seeing Texas teams in the freaking SEC now. Like you never know. Like I mean, look at a team like Texas Tech right now. Like I mean, part of the part like to me part of like the NIL discussion, right? When I was doing some of the research, man, I was just looking into like the top NIL schools and like rev share school and how they're gonna like what budgets are they gonna be working with coming into 2025. And bro, I don't know if y'all seen, but Texas Tech they're gonna like they have a sort of a creative way that they're doing this, but they're gonna have like 50 million plus to outfit their rosters for this year. And all of that 50 million is not 100% of that is not allocated to athlete payouts, right? But that's just the type of money they're playing with. You know what I mean? Like, who's to say that team does not become like Texas Tech does not become so prominent that they make a move to the SEC at some point? You know what I'm saying? Like, um, you got to consider some of those things, right? And like, who's to say some of these teams aren't going to be able to draw up the same amount of money and start like one of the I'm talking about my Athlon article, but I think it's relevant to this conversation as we talk about like where UTSA will be in the future. I think the thing the rev share and NIL does is it really clarifies and crystallizes the disparity between the programs who have it and the programs who don't. And conference is not going to necessarily matter. Obviously, there are some conferences. Look at the SEC. Every single team in the SEC is going to max out their rev share, and they're going to have at least 20.5 million. And on average, their collectives are going to bring in somewhere around 12 to 13 million. And some of the bigger schools are going to have, I think, they're talking about like UT is going to probably cut their collective alone is going to bring in 22 or so million, which puts them around 42 million dollars from budget that they're going to be playing with this year or this particular season. And when you look at things like that, like there's going to be some schools who just simply cannot compete with that, right? And that disparity is going to make teams think about, okay, like is this the conference for me? You know what I'm saying? Like, should we look elsewhere? Can we be more competitive somewhere else because these people are winning year in and year out because we can't compete with them because they have, deep pockets. I just think that there's going to be opportunities over these next, 5+ years where UTSA, if we can like start to make some strides, the program continues to be successful and continues to take some of those steps. You never know where we're at in 5 years, and a Big 12 move could be a thing. It's not off the that to me is not out of the realm of possibility. And maybe 5 years is a bit too quick, but I definitely think that we'll have opportunities to do some of that. It's Rab is a big WWE town. I think I read this one already. Okay, yeah, Texas State and Sam Houston. I thought you were talking about Texas State and no, I actually thought you were talking about. I didn't think you were talking about those two teams. Now I'm drawing a blank. It's Rap say, yeah, they play 80 games or something since like 1900. He says, who would you want to pair with the Big 12? Memphis, Tulane, or USF? I think yeah, I agree. South Florida or Tulane. Yeah, for sure. I was gonna say Tulane. I mean, Memphis not bad either. Yeah, Memphis is not bad. Yeah, Memphis. I'm okay with Memphis. I'm okay with the three of those. Who would you want to pair with Big 12? If I had one, probably Tulane. If I'm just gonna pick one. Let's see. Can you post your article link here too? Yeah, absolutely. I can do that really quick. What I'll do, I'll update the description in the video after this, and I will leave the article links there as well. But for the article for Athlon, yeah, if y'all guys notice, my tone is very different in those, since I'm not writing. I can't like be as personable. I can't like, oh, I can, but it's just different. Yeah, I just posted the link in the comments, Angela, so you can check it out there. Copy paste it from there. Anthony says, heard from the Texas State podcast that they will start seeing more Texas State branding in San Antonio due to getting local alumni involved due to PAC-10 or whatever. I don't want to see that all over I-10 or 1604. That's the problem. That's the problem. And I will continue to go back to this. The mindset that, hey, UTS or San Antonio is not going to get behind UTSA until they start doing big things. That mindset has to change. And I know you're not talking about that right now, but that's a joke because that probably happens. That's probably going to happen. Whenever I come up to San Antonio, I mean, obviously you got to go through San Marcos and that whole thing. But yeah, there are pockets of San Antonio with Texas State memorabilia everywhere already. So to me, like, I don't know how, it's not my job to figure out how to bridge that gap. But to me, like, if you can't, like, there's no magic wand. I'll continue to say there's no magic wand to get San Antonio folks to buy in automatically to UTSA. But what we can't say, and even if the mindset actually is like, hey, San Antonio, folks in San Antonio will care more whenever UTSA is on a level where they're in the Big 12. Well, I don't know how we're going to get there. If I have no idea how UTSA will get there if like that's all San Antonio is going to like react to. Like, we have to, the school, someone has to pull something, some kind of cat out of the hat to get folks to buy in now. Have to. I don't know what it needs to be, but it has to. Let's see. Can UTSA use that $1 billion endowment money for sports or no? Now that the schools need to pay players directly, I don't know. It's a really good question. I have no idea. But like, a lot of that money that these programs get, man, is a lot of the money that these programs get, or not programs, I should say these schools get, a lot of this stuff goes toward, some of the educational initiatives that they have. And yeah, I don't know. It would be great though. It would be great. David says, do we also think we'll see the athletic budget rise as a result of that new endowment? I would hope so. I would hope so, but only time will tell. It it doesn't it doesn't seem like it's the case right now. I at least have not heard anything, but like I don't know. I don't know. I don't want to speculate either way of it because I literally don't know. Anthony says, I definitely do see UTSA's next jump being the Big 12 in years to come. When that happens, we'll be interested to see where the conference alignments look like. Yeah, like I expect that the Big 12 move, I think like you'd see more teams like UTSA into the Big 12, but I think there'll be some leftovers from the Big 12 that like keep the Big 12 where it's at, and it'll actually be a meaningful move up. But yeah, who knows, man? I mean, I'm gonna tell you something right now, though. I'm gonna be honest with you. With rev share and NIL coming into like play, like the basis of my article was like, hey, on average, in case you guys hadn't read it, listen, on average, Power Four, like I'll just use the SEC because I compared the SEC, which I consider the top tier conference in the nation, right? The SEC on average is going to be playing with about 34 to 35 million dollars budgets to allocate toward athletics in 2025. Schools G5, just a general rough average of G5, 4 million, and a lot of them will be lucky to touch 4 million. 4 million total. We're talking about two different leagues. You know what I'm saying? This isn't the same thing. Like this is two different sport. Like it's almost two different sports, two different resource pools. It's obviously two different resource pools. Like it's a problem, and I think that's going to have a big impact on conference realignment in the coming years because that disparity is going to become a lot more prevalent as these seasons begin to stack on themselves because some of the teams that are in these bigger conference are going to realize, hey, in the Big 12, I'm not going to be able to compete with Texas Tech because they have $55 million to play with, and we may only have 25 or something. That's a huge difference in terms of bringing talent in. That's better resources, there's better coaching staffs, there's better players, and like we think about just getting the people. When you think about the infrastructure that those people with these big budgets are going to have, they're going to have more resources to give those players, to give those coaches, to help them have even more of a competitive advantage against their opponents. And that stuff compounds. Every little bit builds on itself, and it makes the disparity between those teams even more. So if you just think about this, I mean, and here's the thing, this isn't new, right? College football has never been balanced. It's one of the things I said in my article. It's never been balanced. It never will be balanced. But like it now being a lot more obvious what folks are playing with, what schools are playing with, and what schools aren't, and how that's shifting the balance of competition. There's definitely going to be a lot more reaction from that from a conference realignment standpoint. And you just never know what you'll see. I think they should split the G5. I mean, the G5 should have its own championship, in my opinion. I could go on and on about that, but I'll digress for now. I got some more questions to get to before we wrap at 7. David says, in your opinion, around what date will we give the unit reveal? Yeah, I think I commented on this before. Yeah, I think probably sometime before. I would expect in probably 4 or 6 weeks from now. I would say, if I had to guess. But you never know. I don't know what they're going to do with that. I agree with Anthony. This rivalry just invites Texas State into San Antonio. No good at all. It's already here. It's already there. It's already there. I've never seen Texas State stuff in Stanton. Yeah, I have. No pockets at all after 10 years. I think that's why us San Antonio people have different outlook. Living in San Antonio easily notice changes. I mean, yeah, I have not lived in San Antonio. I moved out of San Antonio 7 years ago. I can tell you, I certainly saw it. Not the last time I was there, the time before last. So yeah, I've seen it multiple times. Not like a whole school, like a whole store that has sections and stuff like that, but there's just like there are people that I mean people who there are a lot of people from San Antonio who went to Texas State for school. Like that's not a thing. But yeah. Yeah, the UT presence in San Antonio is crazy. It's definitely more prevalent than UTSA. Cody says maybe you asked this already, but just joining. Will the PAC be a power conference? I don't think so. I don't think that. I don't think so. I don't. I don't think so. I'm not even trying. Like I'm legit not trying to like just throw shade on the Pac-10, 12, whatever they call themselves. I'm not like trying to throw shade on the PAC. I don't think that's a power conference. I'm being I am being dead serious. Like, let's go through the teams really quick. Let's go through the team. Let me make sure I get them all pulled up. I'm not. I'm not. I don't. Let's see. So you got Boise State, which I think they could like. They could be Colorado State. I don't know about that. Fresno State. I am drawing blank on this freaking yeah, Fresno State, Oregon State, San Diego, yeah, Utah State, Washington State. I mean, respectfully, bro, I don't think so. I don't think this makes them a power conference. I'm sorry. Like, and this is not me trying to throw shade at all. I think they're good, like a good I mean, I guess they would make it the G6 or whatever. Like, I think they would be a very good one of those, but like, I don't think so. What do y'all think though? I could be wrong. What do y'all think? I don't think so personally. And this is not me trying to intentionally throw shade at them. What has Playfly done so far? That's a great question. I mean, look, I know they're doing some good things, relationship building. I know they are doing some good. I'm just the things that I have been directly exposed to. I know they have really creative ideas on what they want to do going forward. I do know for a fact that they are limited by so much red tape that you have to go through to get things approved at at UTSA, like campaigns, when they can say things, how they can interact with the fan base. They want to interact a lot more, but they can't. They've been told to stay away from certain things. Also, I think that like they are trying their best. I mean, they also have like they're not just there to like go get corporate sponsorships and go get people NIL money and these types of things. That's not their only job. They've done a lot with like pricing and some of the things on the marketing side, but like pricing in the Alamo Dome. I think that's one of the things they were really happy that they upped some of the prices and some of the stuff on tickets and all of that type of stuff. So they do there's a lot of services that they offer in terms of generating money, from like meaningful money. I have not seen or heard of anything big that they've pulled off yet. But only time will tell. They just got up and running in San Antonio, so we'll see what happens. But yeah, I mean, I know they've done some relationship building and they're trying to build a lot of rapport with former athletes, and trying to get ingratiated into just what UTSA is about. But yeah, I don't know if they've brought in any meaningful corporate sponsorships yet. I'll just go from there. Long-term financial planning, and absolutely, JC. Anthony says, Darian, what are some new traditions you would like to see evolve regarding our program? UT has Texas Fight Chant, A&M has their own traditions with Yale leaders. Yeah, I would like to see something more than the UTSA. I like to see something a little bit more than that, like some real rally chant type things. I would be all up for that. But I would also like my personal thing with this is I like to I like to somehow like I feel like the UTSA tailgate, like one of the things I like about like going to the games or whatever is like the family feeling that you get at the tailgates. Um, but I can't necessarily say that like it translates very well at the inside of the dome. And a lot of the times because it's not enough people that like carry some of that, right? But not even from the family standpoint. For me, I would like I don't even know what I'm trying to explain, but I would like the fan base to almost be a bit more creative on their own in terms of like how they support the team at the dome with some of the things. It'd be great for like a leader or something, like a hype man leader or something. Because we have like the normal things, some of the folks that dress up and dress out crazy, like the guy in the like Rey Mysterio mask and all that type of stuff. Like I like all that stuff, but I like fans to start throwing stuff at the wall and not wait on the school to try to do it for you. You know, that'd be cool. Drink health, earn wealth. I like it. He says, I do know that there are a lot of media alumni from Texas State. Yeah, but that's online stuff. Yeah, there's a big Texas. I mean, they may not be as loud, but there's a pretty significant Texas State presence in San Antonio. Let's see. Wait, he says UTSA has no alumni in the local media. Yeah, brother, I have tried to change that. I have tried to change that. Yeah, I am my style. Yeah, my style does not. I've tried to change that. I'll say that. In terms of not only with myself, because I've definitely reached out to some of the local media um, folks to like collaborate with and those sorts of things. I don't necessarily know if they avoid UTSA alumni specifically, but you'd be surprised at how local media are not the most receptive to people trying to get in. And but I kind of understand it. It's like it takes like it's very hard to get in local media anyway. It's like it's almost impossible to be honest. It's why you see so many people freelance. It's why I freelance. Um, it's hard to get some of those more traditional like positions. It's also hard to work with them also too because like traditional media and the local media they are very big and very heavy on like, hey, you know, we want to touch the program, we want to interview the talking heads of the program and these sorts of things. And if you're not a tool in that, if you're not a tool for that, then it is very hard to get in, and it's very hard for them to. You're just not going to be attractive to work with. Um, I will say that some of the local media back in the day, though, that is no longer there. Some of the guys that I worked with when I was doing a little bit of work with ESPN radio up there, they were really about it in terms of like letting people come on and having more of a voice, right? Like and talking about some of these things. I think some of those folks were there, but they're not there. They all got laid off and are now doing other things in other areas. But yes, like I get the local media stuff is hard, but it's hard to work with those guys. Is like no offense to I'm not trying to be offensive to them at all. It's just it's not an easy they don't respond to emails either. So some of them might see this and be like, bro, you've never reached out. Yes, I have. Israel says, I remember even bringing that up to some communication job for San Antonio or for UTSA years ago, and they didn't realize that until I said it. UTSA doesn't alumni journalists influence like that. And yeah, I just think that I don't think a lot of people go to school for that in San Antonio because the UTSA like has a really, I mean, y'all know they have a great business, a lot of great engineering. They have a lot of great opportunities, and I don't know if journalism is one of. It's what I went to school for, which is why I'm talking about all this local media. Is because I actually went to school to do this stuff for a living. I don't do it for a living at all. Like all of this, I like that side of. I like those things, and I do all of that stuff for free. I do all of this as a hobby. The show, the articles, all this stuff as a hobby. But yeah, man, it's hard to get into those spaces. I definitely think, like, here's the thing. When you go to like Austin or come to Austin and you look at some of the local networks, like when they talk about like UT or UT, they are biased, bro. They're super biased. But guess what? Like it's local news in Austin. They're supposed to be, right? And to me, it's different. That bias and like the way they deliver their message or set the tone is a lot different coming from a UT alum than it would be from a, I don't know, a A&M alum who's just happens to have a job in Austin, right? So that's sort of the thing. If you got like Texas State alumni in San Antonio covering UTSA, they're not going to deliver the message the same way somebody would. You know what I hope you guys can understand where I'm coming from with that. But yeah, it's a different type of situation. Okay, I'm a little over time here. I'm gonna finish these last few out. I did not think this one would be live or be great today, but y'all have been good with the discussion. Cody says, I think the conference move strengthens the rivalry and definitely makes the game between Texas State and me more. Absolutely. Agree 100%. It's Rab. UTSA alumni tailgate peaked early when that Sunset Station. I remember Sunset Station. I was playing back then. Yeah, man. I missed that. I think UTSA should try to go back there. Agreed. But with all fun going to the athletic. Let's see. No free like that. Okay. Mr. Meep says new champs are much needed. Let's get one going. What's up? Let's do it. Let's figure something out. Y'all are probably more catchy than me with the chance. Let's do it. Let's do like hit me up on Twitter. Let's figure something out. Let's bring something new to the table this year. It's all Texas State alumni working at SA Express and a lot of the media in San Antonio. Yeah, I know. It was a guy I met at the barbershop a few years ago when I was in San Antonio. He didn't cover sports. He covered something. He covered like general news or whatever. He was Texas State. He's from Texas State. Sharp fella. But I met him in a barbershop and he was like, yeah, I'm from Texas State, or I went to college in Texas State. And I had like a little funny joke with him because I went to UTSA, obviously, at the time. But yeah, so that's what I noticed more and more. Texas State started to push into San Antonio. So I looked at the journalists and most are Texas State alumni. Yeah. Yep. Control the media, you control the influence in the city. Agreed. It's Rab. They need to hire you, bro. Anyway, appreciate you guys for kicking it with me on this Wednesday evening. Check out the Twitter, like and subscribe. Hey guys, if you could drop a like on the video, it will be super helpful so more people can see this and we can start getting this momentum building toward the season. So hit me up on Twitter if you got any questions that I didn't cover or if you want to continue the conversation. And then we'll go from there. Appreciate y'all for joining. See ya.